What's up guys, Teredian here with a quick update video on what I've been up to during the month of September 2024. I've been mostly working on two projects. The first one is this one. It's basically a remake of the game I made for the 2-week My First Game Jam. So if I run it here, you'll see it's very similar. You got your planet. I was going to have scrolling in and out as a feature so you can see further away. But the main differences were, instead of having all the UI over here on the left side all the time, and like the whole game being very static and simple, I wanted to make it more dynamic. So there's going to be scrolling. All the UI would be in these panels that pop up and you can close. So like, let's say there was like a missile building, you would select it, and this would pop up and have all the buttons and relevant information, and it would be like that for every building. I also wanted to add upgrades to the factory as well as the lab, so that each individual factory would have like an upgrade path. That would make it more impactful if like they get damaged by the enemies and you lose one. You're like, oh, that was one of my most upgraded buildings. I don't know. I feel like there was a lot to expand on there. And then the other main feature with this one is a much improved orbit system. So you'll see instead of all of the satellites being at the same altitude and orbiting a fixed like distance away like the last one, there's an actual proper modeled on real physics orbit system where the further away these objects are, the slower their orbit is. So they'll get desynced over time, and then it adds an element of strategy of like, where do I want to place these satellites? Do I want them to be, do I want a huge cluster like this so that they can come by and, hit one right after another? Or do I evenly space them so that I kind of have a more rounded defensive grid? But honestly, with this, I just kind of got bored of doing the same thing I had just done and basically making the same game. Like, at this point, all of the interesting new stuff is done, and all I have to do is add the game stuff that I already did. So I got really bored really fast, and I will probably come back to this and finish it eventually. But for now, I'm putting it on the back burner and focusing on a different project. And that project is called, at least for now, Super Regime Change Randy. It's my attempt at a platformer. So if I boot it up here, these are the pickups. So one of those is like an MRE, one of those is a grenade. The grenade is going to be like a pickup, like a secondary weapon you have. You see, currently you just have a whole bunch, so you can just keep throwing them. And those will destroy certain things in the environment, like these sandbags. But you've also got a direct attack. You've got a punch, and if you attack in the air, you've got a kick. And there's going to be like flying drone enemies you're going to be able to kick down, and they'll like land and interact with mines and stuff, so hopefully like chain reactions and stuff will happen. But I'll have an enemy that just runs up and punches you. I'll have an enemy that like has a machine gun or something and like stops and then like fires like 3 bullets at you. You gotta dodge them or something like that. But yeah, the idea is just to make a basic platformer, with like some beat 'em up mechanics and some other things like the grenades and stuff like that. These boxes you're gonna be able to break open. That's where you're gonna find like grenade pickups. I have to design a system where it'll randomly spawn like health or things that it'll be a random spawn system, but I've done all that before. That's kind of the idea behind this project, because things are so stressful in the world right now. I wanted to make a project where I knew how to do everything, and a basic platformer is something that like every game dev sort of needs to try at some point or another, it seems like, anyway. So I figured why not make my attempt at it. Randy changes regimes single-handedly. He's a force to be reckoned with. And you got these mine obstacles, so like if you like step on them, they'll explode. Yeah, and then at the end of the level, you'll hit the flag, and you'll take, that's the made-up country Randy's invading. You'll take that flag down, put the American flag up. He'll come over here, do a salute, and that'll be like the end of the game. It's very, very Mario-esque, but that's kind of the point. I just wanted to make a basic platformer. I felt like it was finally time. And the world's crazy these days, so I figured this weird theme would contrast nicely with the like NES style platformer aesthetic. I don't know. I don't know if it makes any sense to anyone but me, but I think it's funny.